Now here in this video we are concerned with the Bentham and Hooker's classification. Here, as far as the Bentham and Hooker's classification is concerned, this classification is for your syllabus. This classification is concerned with only angiosperm plants, and as far as this classification is concerned, this classification is very important because it is accepted in number of countries, because the classification is dependent on the morphological external characters and visible characters, and due to that this classification is easily used for identification of plant as far as the practical purpose is concerned. Then as far as this Bentham and Hooker classification, this George Bentham in 1884 and Hooker in 1870 to 1911, these two English botanists, well-known English botanists, described a plant in 3-volume works. That is the name of book that is Genera Plantarum in 1862 to 1883. The Genera Plantarum is having 3-volume works, and in this book Bentham and Hooker described 97,205 plants, and these plants are classified, and 202 orders, natural orders, or it is also called as families. And Bentham and Hooker described these plants and classified these plants and families in the book that is Genera Plantarum. Then these two botanists worked at a Kew International Botanical Garden and doing this work in a 21 years. Then as far as the classification is concerned, it is very ideal classification, it is a natural classification, and the classification is mostly dependent on the morphological external visible characters, and due to that it is used in number of countries for identification of plant for the practical purpose. Then as far as this is the outline of classification of angiosperm according to the Bentham and Hooker. The classification is simply a systematic plan. This is the systematic plan of Bentham and Hooker, and according to that, Bentham and Hooker named angiosperm as a division Phanerogamia. The division Phanerogamia are simply concerned with the term angiosperm, and this Phanerogamia divided by Bentham and Hooker into 3 classes. The first class is the dicotyledon, second is the gymnosperm, and third class is the monocotyledon. Then as far as these 3 classes are there, these classifications are showing natural phylogeny because dicots are primitive and monocots are advanced. But as far as the position of gymnosperm is concerned, this is somewhat wrong because the gymnosperm is different group, and it may be the ancestral group of angiosperm, and it is placed even though it is placed in between dicot and monocot. This is somewhat wrong as far as the current phylogeny is concerned. Then as far as these dicots are there, dicot and monocots are classified according to the different characters. For example, dicots are simply having a 2 cotyledon in the seeds, reticulate venation, taproot system, and vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like fashion. These are some characters concerned with the dicot. As far as the monocot, there are some opposite characters. For example, single cotyledon in the seed. Then the plants are having parallel venation, adventitious root system, vascular bundles are irregularly spread in the ground tissue, and flowers are trimerous in nature. Here in dicot, flowers are tetra or pentamerous. These are some characters used for the classification of this dicot and monocot. Then dicot of Bentham and Hooker again subclassified into subclasses. There are 3 subclasses: polypetally, gamopetally, and third additional class is there, that is monoclamady. Then this subclass of Bentham and Hooker depends on a character, that is nature of corolla lobes in relation to the ovary, or nature of corolla lobes. According to that character, the subclass of Bentham and Hooker divided into polypetally, gamopetally, and apetally. Polypetally, it is having simply a pre-corolla, 3 petals, hence it is called as polypetally. In case of gamopetally, the corolla are generally gamopetalous, that is united corolla, fused corolla is there, and due to that it is all the plants are placed in the gamopetalae. And in case of monoclamidae, it is a somewhat artificial group of Bentham and Hooker, additional group of Bentham and Hooker. This additional group is simply having some characters. For example, this monoclamidae, there is no distinction between calyx and corolla, no differentiation in calyx and corolla. Instead of that, there is only one whorl. The whorl, it may be calyx, it may be corolla. Simply it is called as petaloid calyx or petaloid perianth or cephaloid perianth. And mono means single, clamatus means whorl. That means there is a single whorl, and this whorl is, it may be sometimes colorless, it may be sometimes green. If it is green, it is cephaloid perianth, and if it is colored, it is a petaloid perianth. This is about the monoclamidae. And in case of this polypetalae is again subdivided into three series, that is thalamiflory, deciflory and calyciflory. In case of gamopetalae also divided into three series, that is inferi, heteromeri and bicarpellate. Then as far as the series are there, the series are simply classified or arranged according to the character. The character is that the position of ovary in relation to the other floral parts. For example, sometimes in some group plant ovaries are superior, sometimes ovaries are inferior, and sometimes ovaries are perigynous. That means hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. These are the position of ovaries, and according to that position of ovary, simply Bentham and Hooker arranged the series. If suppose polypetalae, it is arranged into three series: thalamiflory, deciflory and calyciflory. Thalamiflory is having a character that is ovaries are generally superior or sometimes inferior, but generally superior. In deciflory, ovaries are perigynous in nature, and in calyciflory, calyx are persistent, and along with that persistent calyx, generally or mostly the ovaries are inferior. In case of gamopetalae of Bentham and Hooker, the series are again classified according to the position of ovary and number of carpels in the ovary. For example, inferi, it is simply according to the name, the ovary is inferior. Heteromeri, it is also called as superi according to the position of ovary. If the ovaries are superior, all the plants are placed in heteromeri. In case of bicarpellate, there are always two carpels in the ovary, hence it is called as a bicarpellate. Then this is about the polypetalae and gamopetalae divided into different series. This polypetalae again series, thalamiflory, deciflory and calyciflory, again divided into the natural orders. It is also called as cohort, and nowadays it is called as family. That means the rank equivalent to the family, that is the Bentham Hooker named cohort, or it is also called as a natural order, and recently we are called that families. That means thalamiflory is divided into 6 orders and started with the ranels and ends with the malveals. That means thalamiflory, series thalamiflory of polypetalae divides into 6 orders. 6 orders are, the first order is the ranels and the last order is the malveals. Then in case of deciflory divided into 4 natural orders or cohorts. Calyciflory divided into 5 natural orders. In case of gamopetalae, inferi divides into 3 natural orders, heteromeri divides into 3 natural orders, and bicarpellate divides into 4 natural orders. Then as far as the monoclamidae of Bentham and Hooker, there are 7 series and there is no order, natural order or cohort is absent in case of this monoclamidae of Bentham and Hooker. Directly the subclass monoclamidae is divided into 7 series, started with the curvembry and ends with the unisexual. And these 7 orders are there. These are having different characters. For example, the first order is the curvembry. If the embryo is curved in the seed and the flowers are having a perianth, having a single whorl, monoclematis whorl, at that time the plants are placed in curve embryo. Then second order is the multi-ovulati aquati, third order is the multi-ovulati terrestri, then daphnes, archiclamadi, unisexual. These are the some orders of the monoclamidae. That means 7 orders. These are the 7 series of the Bentham and Hooker, started with curve embryo and ends with the unisexual. And in between that there is multi-ovulati aquati, multi-ovulati terrestri, daphnes, archiclamadi. These are the some series of the Bentham and Hooker's monoclamidae. Then monocots are also divided into 7 series, and there was no order, there was no cohort in the monocot also. Monocots are directly divided into 7 series, started with microspermy and ends with the glumaceae. In between that there are some series, for example epigyne, apocarpi, then nudiflori, calicini, coronary. These are the some series which are present in between microspermy and glumaceae. Here also number of characters are used by Bentham and Hooker. Most important is that in all that complete outline of classification, all the characters are there. They are external character, visible character, morphological characters, and due to that, according to that system, one can identify the plant easily, and due to that this system is mostly accepted in number of countries including India, and this particular system is used for classification of plant, identification of plant, and arrangement of herbaria and all that purpose, practical purpose. This classification is used in the number of countries.